Hi. Hey, how's this? Welcome to today's Big Brother 23 updates and spoilers. What's going on? Hope you're all having a great Wednesday today. What day is it? I don't know. But our house guests of the day, I do know that. Our house guests of the day are Pine and Deb Wicks. Thank you both so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. It's only $1 for a holla, and it's a great time. These are not Frenchie overalls. This is a me overall dress. Not Frenchie overalls. You guys are hilarious. But I also want to thank yesterday's super chatters before we get going here, because we also couldn't make this possible without you guys. Don't apologize. I'm just joking around with you. Don't worry. Jefferson Tucker, Christian Bonet, Felicia Lee, Alex Garza, Janet Tucker, Jody Cortez, and Mimi Robin. Thank you all so much for the super chats. Great way to support the channel. And we got a couple of super chat. Whoa, we got a bunch of super chatters for today too. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Yes, this Yeti is hot. And the camera is rolling. Woo! Thank you for your super chat. Julie's Heart, thank you so much for your super chat. You are very kind. Oh. Caleb Corinta, thank you so much for the super chat. And Caleb asks, if you were on Big Brother, what would you want to name your alliance? Also, Janet killed it while you were gone. Update and spoiler collab. Mom did kill it while I was gone, and I'm so thankful that she was able to fill in for me. So thanks again, Mom. I know you're watching right now. And I feel like if we did a collaboration on a spoiler video, it would be like 5 hours long. And I know some of you guys are saying that you would want that, but I'm going to be real. I would not. It's too much. Also, okay, so if I was on, what would I want my alliance to be? Honestly, I would want it to be something like really weird so that Julie would be forced to say it at one point on like a Thursday episode. So like pizza sluts, or like, I don't know, something with like boogers or like diapers. Something weird and funny. I don't know. I'd have to think about it a bit, but it would be a lot of fun to come up with some alliance names. Thank you for your super chat. Adley Bruges, thanks so much for the super chat. Oh, you just received your book. I hope you love it. Yes, if you guys want to get your own copy of our cookbook, which, Mom, bring in the cookbook when you come in later. If you guys want your own copy of that, we have a link in the info box below. It's a lot of fun. Adley Rouge, I hope you love your cookbook. And Julian Mello, thank you so much for the super chat. I will keep doing me. Thank you. You're killing it too. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get started. All right. When we left off yesterday, Christian did not use the power of veto. Whitney and Hannah remain up on the block, and it's looking like Hannah's got the votes to stay. There hasn't been any flip-flopping all week. The only flip-flopping that's been happening is on deciding who's going to be next week's target. Whitney pretty much sees the writing on the wall at this point. I'm not sure if she's even going to really campaign to stay. I have an update on that for later. But I always write these like first thing in the morning when I start, and then like sometimes things change. But anyway, yeah, she's going to potentially campaign to stay, but I don't know how much effort she will be putting into that. So the house guests have been trying to figure out who their targets will be for next week, and we've been talking about it all week. Tiffany has set her sights on Sarah Beth, and she has convinced many of her allies that this is the next move. Tiffany just seems hell-bent on targeting Sarah Beth. Ever since Sarah Beth was pushing hard for Hannah to go this week, we know that Tiffany is now super tight with Hannah. She is her number one choice for the final two at this point. I think there's more to this, though. I think there is more to Tiffany targeting Sarah Beth, and I think it has to do with Kyland, because I think, you know, Tiffany had her final two with Kyland, and then when she saw just how close Kyland and Sarah Beth are, I think she got a little bit freaked out and a little bit jealous. And she's like, I gotta get Sarah Beth out of here. So yeah, I think that is part of it. But you know who's not really being targeted right now? Or at least not as much as they should be? The showmans of Christian and Alyssa. Absolutely insane. Some people are using them as a shield. Some people are just afraid to take the shot. Some people just love them on a personal level and don't want to go after them. So all these reasons put together, they are not as big of a target right now as you would think they would be. It's wild. All right. So Brittany and Christian had a game chat in the have not room, and Brittany's telling Christian, you really shouldn't worry that you're winning too many competitions right now. You shouldn't like hold back because it's already known that you're good at comps at this point. So whatever happens next is not going to change that perception. People are still going to think you're a threat. So, you know, don't worry about that. And I mean, she kind of makes a point there. Like, there's going to be that perception now for the rest of the game that Christian's a really good physical competitor. So just why not go for all the competitions, right? But Christian also says there's a difference between winning competitions and actually like getting blood on your hands. And he's saying he wants to be known as the Veto King and not Derek X. He wants that title. So Brittany's like, yeah, but isn't it better for your game if people think of Derek X as the Veto King? Like, you don't need that title added on. Also, you've been able to show people your loyalty this week with how you handled your HOH. So that's like something on your resume. That's a good thing moving forward. My goodness, my phone is blowing up. So Brittany also tells Christian, you and your entire team are all good with the Jokers next week. We're very grateful that you kept your word and you didn't put us up this week. Are they all good with the Jokers? I don't think so, but that's what Brittany is saying. So Brittany says if she wins HOH, she's got the right to go after anyone she wants. And this is something that she's been saying for a while now, since she's gone up on the block twice as a pawn. She feels like a lot of people have wronged her. So she feels she'll be able to come up with a reason to put pretty much anybody up on the block. Brittany also brings up how Christian mentioned during their one-on-one meeting the possibility of the two of them forming a final two alliance. And Brittany says, I've been thinking more and more about it, and I think it's pretty beast if you're down. So, of course, Christian's like, yeah, of course I'm down. I'm the one that brought it to you. I was just waiting for you to bring it back to me and confirm that you were on board with it. So they shake on it. Brittany says she's going to come up with a name for it. Can't wait. But this final two thing is going to come up in just a little bit. So just put that in your back pocket for now. All right. There is definitely some tension between Tiffany and Kyland right now. Ooh. All right. They have a final two deal. We know this. We notice. But Tiffany seems to have cooled off on Kyland. She has moved on to Hannah. She's not including Kyland in all these new A Million alliances that she's building. She's putting together all these different groups that have pretty much all the same people, except for like one or maybe two that are different. It's too much. But she's not including Kyland in them now, where before he was involved in those. And again, is this because she's realizing how close he is to Sarah Beth? Maybe she's a little bit jealous about it. But they're chatting in the coral bedroom, and Kyland is picking up on the different vibes. He says he felt like they were really connected last week when they were both have-nots and sleeping in the have-not room. And he says, I really liked that, and I want that. And Tiffany's like, I'm still here. No, she's not. So Kyland says, okay, just wanted to make sure. And he says, if there's something I'm doing, I want to fix that. And Tiffany says, no, you're not doing anything. Nope. Mm-mm. I just need some time alone so that I can read my Bible. She wants to read her Bible. I had to. But yeah, that's not a good sign. She is not happy with him right now. Things are not okay. And Kyland is definitely picking up on it. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens with these two moving forward. But a little later, Christian and Alyssa were in the HOH room, and we missed the beginning of this conversation, unfortunately. But it seems very clear that Christian told Alyssa about his final two deal that he just made with Brittany. And Alyssa seems pissed about it. So Alyssa's like, yeah, I'm just kind of worried. Like if I win HOH next week, and I put up Ozza and Brittany like I've been planning, you're just going to act like you didn't know that this was going to happen with Brittany? And Christian's like, mm-hmm. So Alyssa's like, great. Well, that helps me out tremendously. She's being sarcastic. She says, I don't really find that fair. Which is funny because Alyssa's been saying when people are telling her like, oh, I want to put up a king on the block because I want to even out the teams and make it fair or whatever. Alyssa's been all like, well, BB isn't fair, blah, blah, blah. But Alyssa says, this week we made sure that people knew that this was a team decision and it was not all going to be on you, the HOH. So like if I put up Ozza and Brittany next week and you just like act like you're shocked and you're mad at me, that's not cool. So Christian says, well, I won't have to act all surprised and pissed if Brittany leaves next week before the jury starts, because then like, who cares? She's not going to be in jury. I don't have to worry about it. That's shitty. But Alyssa says, then again, on the other side of things, you can be in Brittany's ear and tell her not to take me out if she wins HOH. You can tell her that you have me in your back pocket. But then Alyssa's like, no, never mind. She's going to try and take me out because she wants to get closer to you. I could see that. But Christian says, no, Brittany would not do that. I wouldn't let her take you out. Wow. Anyway, Alyssa says, you can't force her to do something that she doesn't want to do. She can make her own decisions. It would be her decision. She doesn't have to listen to you. So Christian's like, well, I don't think that she'd want to piss off her final two that has the most competition wins in the house. This kind of like is going to his head though. I don't know. So Alyssa says, she just feels like Christian's in a safer spot than her at this point. That makes her nervous. And Christian's like, please just trust me. I can convince Brittany to never put you up on the block. And Alyssa says, I'm going to try and be open-minded. But if I win HOH, I'm still planning on putting up Ozza and Brittany. It is what it is. All right. So a little bit of tension in that showmance. I don't know. All right. Hannah and Derek X were chatting in the storage room. And they are still trying to figure out which side is going to be better for them to work with in the long run, right? You got Christian and Alyssa on one side, and then the other side, you have Tiffany, Claire, and Kyland. So Derek X agrees with Hannah. The showmance is a great shield for them. However, he feels that Hannah, Kyland, and himself are capable of winning all the competitions if Christian's not around. He says the only person that can beat them is Christian, maybe Xavier. What? So Derek X says, I don't need a shield because I don't think anyone else will be able to win to make the move against me, to attack me. Now, let's keep in mind, Derek X is new to this game, so I don't think he's seen a ton of it. I don't think he realizes how some of these like crapshoot competitions work, or you may think you're going to be good at something and then it's like completely different. So I think his ego is a little bit inflated right now with his competition prowess. But he is pretty confident that if Christian is gone, he's just going to dominate. So anyway, Hannah says she's thinking they should take out Christian and Alyssa in the first 2 weeks after jury starts, because the longer they're in this house, the stronger their relationship is going to get, and it's going to be harder to break them up. So she says, let's just use them as a shield for now. And she points out they're more of a shield for us than we are for them, because they are definitely a bigger target. I mean, they're not only is Christian a competition beast, they're in a showmance, and they're on the only team that is still fully intact with 4 people. So that is a good point. Hannah says she wants to work with Derek X, Tiffany, Kyland, and Claire. And Derek X agrees 100%. Hannah says the 5 of us, I think, can collectively give Christian a run for his money. I sure freaking hope so, man. 5 versus 1 or 5 versus 2, I hope. But anyway, later, Alyssa and Hannah were chatting in the bathroom, and they're talking about who they should target next. Alyssa's saying she thinks that they should go after the Jokers, and that is her real plan. Remember, Alyssa is planning on targeting Azah and Brittany if she wins HOH. So Hannah's like, yeah, that would be the easiest thing to do, right? To go after the Jokers. But why would we target a team that doesn't have strong competitors? Like, what's the point? Isn't it like kind of a waste? Yeah. So then Alyssa is telling Hannah about the team meetings that the Kings had before nominations. And she's also telling Hannah who brought up her name during the comps, during the meetings. And Hannah says, all right, so you're telling me that Sarah Beth did not object to me potentially going up on the block. And Alyssa says, no, she did not. So, Sarah Beth could potentially be a good pawn for you to use. Keyword pawn. So then Hannah's asking for more details. She's like, all right, in what capacity, like to what extent did Sarah Beth push for me to go up on the block this week? And Alyssa says Sarah Beth didn't push for her to go up. She just didn't push for Hannah to not go up. Excuse me? That's a lie. We all know that Sarah Beth pushed hard, not only for Hannah to go up on the block, but for her to be the target this week. And Hannah has heard the truth about this from multiple sources. So she's got to know Alyssa's not trustworthy at this point. Alyssa is lying. So Alyssa's saying, like, Sarah Beth did not suggest you to go up on the block. But when we brought up the scenario of you possibly going up with Whitney, Sarah Beth said that would be the smartest move. Come on. So Alyssa says, I don't know if you have anything to worry about in the next few weeks with Sarah Beth, but I wanted to let you know about that so that you can like talk with her more and build more of a relationship. Oh my God. She's trying to protect Sarah Beth right now. And I'm wondering, is Hannah like seeing through this? She's got to be, right? Alyssa says she feels like Brittany would try and take a shot at Hannah before Sarah Beth would. So yeah, Alyssa is clearly trying to make sure that Hannah targets the Jokers if she wins HOH next week. All right, moving on. Claire was alone in the coral bedroom talking to the cameras at one point, and of course the feeds cut right as she started talking. Luckily, it was only like for a minute, but we did miss the beginning of Claire's camera chat. But Claire says Tiffany has way more going on in this house than I do, like socially. Correct. Did you notice how Derek F is always like, correct? Cracks me up. But Claire says Tiffany is always talking with Xavier. So she's got him. She's probably got Hannah closer to her than I do. She's got Derek X. So, got to keep an eye on all that. But she does feel that Tiffany is loyal to her. Not as much anymore. Okay, but anyway, not because she doesn't like Claire or she doesn't want to work with Claire, but I think Tiffany, she said she's feeling guilty because Claire is not a part of the Cookout Alliance, and she doesn't want Claire to make it like deep into the game with no real chance of winning. So, yeah. Anyway, Claire says her ideal plan for next week is to not win HOH. And Claire was like, ugh. I'm sure she hates like saying those words, but she says I'm safe. So I don't want to win this next HOH and put a target on my back. But she says she's so excited that she made it to the jury because of the wildcard competition. And she says for this week, she's not keeping Whitney. She's not budging on that, but she would like to hear Whitney's pitch. She's curious what she has to say. I'm also curious what Whitney's pitch is going to be. But Claire says, it makes sense that all these guys that are winning the competitions might want to stick together, might want to use each other as shields. She gets that. She's saying we need some girls to really start winning competitions and making moves. All right. And Claire says if she does win HOH, she thinks there's an argument to be made for Big D to go. This is something that we've heard her talk about for the last few days. She's worried that Big D is going to be a goat. And I'm talking like the survivor sense, not like greatest of all time Simone Biles sense. She means like a goat as in somebody that is not that doesn't really have a chance of winning and gets dragged to the end, so it's like a slam dunk win against them. She's worried that Big D is a potential GOAT, so she's like, maybe I should just take him out now, while I have the chance. She's also thinking it could be a double eviction coming up, which we know it's not, and she doesn't want to deal with Big D being on the block for a full entire week. I mean, he has said that he is going to turn the house upside down when he gets nominated. But anyway, Claire also says she's okay with Sarah Beth going home. She says, I lost so much trust in her when I found out that Kylan knew about the Jackpot Alliance. Obviously, he had to have heard about that from Sarah Beth. And the Jackpot Alliance, again, was that trio with Sarah Beth, Claire, and Tiffany. And yes, Sarah Beth did tell Kylan about it. But Claire says, I don't think Sarah Beth is fully honest with me. And that's not somebody that I feel comfortable working with. So Claire says, looking at the potential evictee list coming up here, Whitney leaving this week, then Sarah Beth next week, and then potentially Brittany after that, Claire is worried she's going to be the next one in line. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking great for her. Ugh. All right. So Claire says at this point, she's kind of playing a floater game right now because she's having a hard time trusting people. All right. So a little later, Whitney resurfaces. I feel like we've barely talked about her this week, even though she's up on the block. But she's been kind of just like hanging out, having makeup parties, spa days, whatever. So she was on the living room couch and she's trying to count up potential votes. So she's realizing she needs 6 votes to stay this week. 5 would be a tie. And she says Christian told her that he would break a tie in her favor if she could get all of the kings on board. So, it's not going to happen. But anyway, she's saying if I can find a way to get the kings on my side, I'll be able to stay. It's not happening. So then she says she's trying to figure out who's all working together. She said clearly Hannah, Tiffany, and Claire, pretty sure they're working together. Yes. But she's not sure. Are Brittany and Azza involved with that? Or maybe like Sarah Beth? Don't know. So she also notices that Kai and Sarah Beth are super close. Yeah, everybody notices that now. And she's also thinking, I feel like maybe Big D threw me under the bus with Christian this week. Correct. Big time. Oh my God. He was throwing her under the bus, driving backwards, driving over her again, like all over the place. But even though she feels like Big D may have thrown her under the bus, she doesn't think that Big D wants Hannah to stay. So maybe she can get his vote. Whitney. Come on. But she feels like she really wants to focus on working on Xavier and Alyssa so that she can get the kings on board because she thinks that they're making, or at least Alyssa's making the decisions. And Xavier's kind of like her way into the kings because they're like cuddle buddies. So what she doesn't realize is that Xavier is like one of the biggest people saying that Whitney needs to go and Hannah needs to stay. Yikes. But yeah, she's also confused this week why she's even in this situation. Why is she even on the block? Why is she the target? She's confused why Christian didn't take a shot at Derek X this week, one of the other big competitors. And she says, I mean, they're potentially working together, right? If he didn't take a shot at him. Yep. So then Tiffany came out of the diary room and she's like, who wants to see my HOH room? It made me laugh. But Whitney is talking to Tiffany and saying she just really wishes that somebody else was up on the block next to her this week and not Hannah because she does not want to campaign against Hannah. They're teammates. They've been close. She did say like, ever since we went up on the block together, we're not really as close. We haven't really been talking as much, but we were close. She doesn't want to campaign against her. And Tiffany tells her, you got to do what's best for your game, All right. So then later, Derek X and Tiffany had a big old game chat in the sea glass bedroom. And Tiffany says, I feel like Kylan kind of knows that I'm targeting Sarah Beth next. I think he's figured it out. And Derek X says, I had a really good chat with Kylan last night. Kylan was telling me his boot order for the Kings specifically is to get rid of Christian, then Alyssa, and then Xavier, and then Sarah Beth last. And Derek X is saying, like, I can't really remember if it was Xavier or Sarah Beth last, but I want to say it was Sarah Beth. But DX says, I gave Kylan my reasons for why I would target each of the kings. And for Sarah Beth, I did bring up, like, she's targeting Hannah hardcore, and I can't have that, you know? I'm close to Hannah. I want to protect her. So Kylan said that it made sense, and DX is like, yeah, Kylan told me that if you, Tiffany, or me were to take a shot at Sarah Beth, he would get behind it. He would support the move. So Tiffany's like, oh, I guess he did catch on to it. So then Tiffany was talking about how she's been distancing herself lately from Kylan because she didn't want Sarah Beth to get jealous and start targeting her. I feel like Tiffany is the jealous one here. I mean, I'm sure, like, Sarah Beth could be jealous, I guess, but I feel like Tiffany just is talking about it nonstop. Talking about how Sarah Beth is watching her, Sarah Beth is jealous, blah, 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 blah. Methinks Tiffany is a little jealous. Okay. But anyway, Derek X is bringing up some concerns about the next move, targeting Sarah Beth. He says, if we take out Sarah Beth next week, do you think that Christian would take a big shot at us the following week? And Tiffany's like, so are you thinking that Christian should go before Sarah Beth? I do. Me as in Maddie, like I do. But Derek says, I mean, that's the only thing that I'm weighing right now, you know? Tiffany says she really likes Christian on a personal level, and she feels like that may be the thing holding her back on targeting Christian. She says, I know that he's not targeting me. And then she's like, but maybe since Alyssa knows that Christian is not targeting me, maybe she's going to get jealous and she will target me so that she can have Christian to herself. Again with this. So Tiffany says, for the team, if it's best for Christian to go, then he has to go. I understand that. But she says, I'm not going to be the one to do it. You know, somebody else has to do it. So Derek X says, if we take out Christian, I feel like we can control every single competition. Like our group can win all of them. Again, it's a bit much. But Tiffany reminds him, she brings up like, oh, well, if Sarah Beth makes it to jury, I don't think she's going to vote for either of us in the final two. I got to say, this group is very concerned early on with these jury votes. They're talking about the jury votes a lot. But Derek X says, I don't really view Sarah Beth as that big of a threat, though. Like, I don't want to waste an HOH on her. So Tiffany's like, all right, then take Christian out if that's what you want to do. But again, if I win HOH, I will not be the one to take out Christian. And Derek says, that's fine. And he shares his plan. He says, if I win HOH, I want to put up Sarah Beth and a Joker. And then if I win the power of veto, I might backdoor Christian. I might take that shot if the opportunity presents itself. So Tiffany's saying, I'm not opposed to it, but she warns Derek X, people could target you once Christian's gone and out of the way. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I'm betting on no one winning a competition and being able to take me out. Okay. So Tiffany says, if you get your shot, take your shot. But again, Tiffany bringing up a counter argument, and she's saying she's worried that if Sarah Beth wins HOH, she might put up Hannah and herself. And Derek is saying, no, I think it'll be me and Hannah. So you don't have to worry. All right. So in other news, the House Guys had a spa night last night. Masks galore. Everyone looking like a crazy serial killer. Love that. And then Brittany was having stomach issues from something she ate. I think she's got a lot of like dietary allergies. So I felt bad that she wasn't feeling good. But I believe she is feeling better today. So that's good to hear. And then Christian and Alyssa were chatting in the gym. And I got to say, Christian's final two deal with Brittany has really sent some shockwaves through this showmance. So Christian's telling Alyssa, you are my number one. I don't want you to doubt that. And Alyssa's like, no, I don't. I think this was a real wake-up call for Alyssa because she's realizing, wow, I need to set myself up with some other people. Because, like, what if somebody did take out Christian? I got, like, nothing going on outside of him. I mean, she's got, like, groups that she's in, but once Christian's gone, are they going to want anything to do with her? I don't know. So, yeah, Christian is telling Alyssa, people have been coming to me with deals this week because I'm the HOH, but, you know, you're my number one. You don't have to worry about it. And Alyssa says she wants to win an HOH so that she can have conversations like that with other people. But she's also saying, I'm going to tell you about all of them. So it's not like I'm going to do this behind your back. All right. So then today, last full day before the eviction, what's going to happen? So Claire and Kylan were discussing the plan for next week, and they agree it makes more sense to target Christian next, not Sarah Beth. Of course, we know Kylan is going to say that because he's super tight with Sarah Beth. But does Claire actually mean that? I don't know. It seems like she's not as focused on Sarah Beth as, say, Tiffany is. And I feel like earlier in the week, Tiffany was pushing Sarah Beth to everyone, and they were all like, yeah, of course. But now that they're getting closer to a new week and a new HOH and everything, I think people are starting to wonder, like, is that the best move for me to take out Sarah Beth, or should I be doing something else? So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But as far as this week goes, Whitney was talking to Xavier, and she tells him she is planning on campaigning. You better get on it. I just choked on my own hair. That's going to be in the next Awkward Moments compilation. But she says she's having a hard time figuring out what she's going to say in her campaigning. She's like, how do I campaign for myself without campaigning against Hannah? She doesn't want to say anything bad about Hannah. And Xavier, I got to say, did not have much advice for her because, hello, he wants Hannah to stay and for Whitney to go. So he's not going to, like, give her many pointers here. But Xavier did go and talk to Christian and give him a heads up that Whitney is going to be campaigning. And Christian was like, oh, dip. I didn't think she was going to do that. Like, this sucks. Neither of them want people to change their minds. They want Whitney to go. So they're bracing themselves for this campaigning that's going to be happening. We'll see. I don't know. As of right now, Whitney's going. I haven't seen her campaign really yet. I think she's still trying to figure out what she's going to say to people. But something tells me it's not going to be effective. You never know, though. I'm curious what her campaigning is going to be like. And I'm sure Hannah will be checking in with people one-on-one just to make sure that she still has their votes. But that's where we're at, okay? Woo! All right. So, yeah, right? A screeching montage would be a lot of fun. I want to know from you guys. I think it's pretty safe to say that Whitney is going tomorrow. But after that, who do you want to go next week? Who are you hoping will win HOH? Let me know. Oh, we have a visitor.
Enter.
Oh, Bowie! Yes! Oh, Mr. Smiles! Oh, thank you so much. Oh, yes. Wonderful. So I mentioned to you guys, if you want your own copy of our beautiful plant-based air fryer cookbook, hi! We have a link.
He wants it.
Yeah, we have a link below to the Amazon page, but if you're not into Amazon, it's also available on Target.com, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com, all over the place. Woo! Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And if you guys do have your own copy already, please leave us a review on our Amazon page because the reviews help so much to get the book noticed more. It helps with, like, the algorithm. So
it makes us cry.
It also makes us feel really good. So if you guys want to leave a review, we'd appreciate it. All right. I also want to thank our super chatters for today. Oh, let me add on. Ooh, okay. Nick Silverstein, thank you for the super chat. Just give me 1 second to get that down. All right. Nick says, I don't care who goes home as long as Tiffany or Derek X wins. You mean like wins the whole thing or wins the HOH or what? I'm rooting for both of them. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen now that the team. What does he have? Now that the team's twist is going to be ending tomorrow.
Whoa.
All right. So now I want to thank all of our super chatters. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much. Julie's Heart, thank you so much.
He's eating a paintbrush.
Bowie. Caleb Corinta, thank you so much. Ali Bruges, thank you so much. Julia Mello, thank you so much. Megan J.A. Hart, thank you so much for the super chat. Jody Cortez, thank you so much. Dawn MH302, thank you so much for the super chat. And of course, Nick Silverstein, thank you so much for the super chat. Ooh.
Don't move. He's right behind you.
Okay. Oh no, Good Taste says I've been sick with COVID all week, but I am still tuning in for these videos. I hope you feel better soon.
Better.
That sucks. Yeah, so just a reminder, Team Twist is ending tomorrow. There's going to be an endurance competition on the live feeds for the HOH. Everybody loves endurance, right? They always talk about how... I feel like this is that interview with the guy on, like, what was that, CNN or BBC or what? And you're, like, trying to get the kid that's misbehaving.
He's got a cat toy.
Oh, it's a little mousy.
Little mousy.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our show today. So thank you all so much. How do I know that teams end tomorrow? Because Julie said that it's going to be 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hi!
hi!
An endurance, too.
Yeah, I said, yeah. Lucy,
Aww.
good girl. Oh, they're kissing. You sweet
But
babies.
kissing can turn to biting really quickly.
Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Oh, look at Louie. Yes, Luce. Okay. I believe Julie did say that, like, before the season even started. So,
Yeah.
in one of those preseason interviews. But, all right, we will see you tonight for the episode recap. Whoa, he's being all playful. All right, we got to go. Bye. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Much love. Awkward ending.